My name is Chloe Bennett, and I was 20 when everything changed. It was a quiet September evening in Bristol. Mom and Dad had flown to Auckland for my cousin's wedding. I stayed back, partly because of uni deadlines, but mostly because I didn't want to face relatives I hadn't seen since childhood. I thought I'd enjoy the week alone. I was wrong. The house was cold. Not physically, but in the way homes feel when no one laughs in them. I hadn't realized how much I relied on background noise, the sound of Mom in the kitchen, or Dad shouting at the telly. And then, out of nowhere, my older brother Liam arrived. 25, tall, sharp-jawed, always perfectly dressed. The one who left for London and never really came back. He said he needed to get out of the city for a few days. He didn't explain further, and I didn't press. But something was off. His usual quick wit was dulled. His laughter was forced. And he barely touched his phone. I noticed all of it. Thursday night, 10:54 p.m. The house creaked gently, as if adjusting to the storm outside. I was curled up on the living room sofa, swaddled in a thick blanket, watching the fireplace even though there was no fire. The power had gone out twice already, flickering just enough to keep me uneasy. I heard soft footsteps upstairs. Then silence. Then footsteps again. Then Liam appeared in the doorway. He wasn't wearing his usual hoodie this time, just a plain t-shirt and gray joggers. He looked exhausted. His hair was messier than usual. His face unshaven. "You all right?" I asked. He nodded once. "Couldn't sleep." "Same," I replied, scooting over. He walked in slowly, then sat beside me, leaving a polite distance between us. We sat in silence, the kind that grows roots if you let it. The only sound was the clock ticking above the fireplace. Then he said it. "Do you ever feel like you're pretending all the time?" I turned to him slowly. "What do you mean?" "Like smiling when you want to scream. Saying I'm fine when your chest feels like it's caving in. Laughing at things that aren't even funny anymore." My throat tightened. "Yeah," I whispered. More than I cared to admit. He looked down at his hands. They were trembling slightly. "I had a panic attack last week," he said. "In the middle of a work meeting. Had to lock myself in the loo and run cold water over my hands just to keep breathing." I stared at him. "I didn't even know you could panic." "That's the problem," he said, smiling bitterly. "No one does." Flashback. The siblings' childhood. When we were kids, Liam was my hero. He built tree houses, climbed the biggest branches, rode his bike faster than anyone in the neighborhood. I followed him everywhere. He used to call me Squidge because I was tiny and squeaky. But then things changed. Dad started drinking more. Mom started hiding it. And Liam started taking the blame for everything. Every broken plate. Every late fee. Every time I cried. He was the barrier between me and the chaos. And I guess, somewhere along the line, he forgot how to take care of himself. Back to present. "I feel like I'm two people," Liam whispered. "The one everyone expects and the one I really am when no one's looking." I reached over, gently taking his hand. He flinched, then let me. "You don't have to be two people with me." He looked at me like that meant more than I realized. Then he said, "Do you remember Mom and Dad's big fight? The night I packed a bag and left for London?" I nodded. "They'd smashed a glass. You cleaned it up before I even got downstairs." "I didn't leave because of uni," he said. "I left because I couldn't breathe in that house anymore." His voice broke slightly. I felt like if I stayed one more night, I'd either explode or disappear. I blinked back tears. "I thought you left because of me. Because we stopped talking." He turned sharply. "What?" "No, Chloe, God, no. You were the only reason I stayed that long." I exhaled shakily. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" "Because you were a kid. I didn't want to dump my mess on you." I smiled sadly. "You're not dumping anything. You're just letting me in." Later that night, 1:37 a.m. The storm outside had softened. Thunder was distant now. Rain had slowed to a whisper. Liam and I sat cross-legged on the floor, eating dry cereal from the box and laughing about nothing, memories mostly. Him falling off the shed roof. me cutting my own fringe and looking like a hedgehog. I used to think you'd be a rock star, I said. He grinned. I used to think you'd be a spy. Close enough. I'm studying psychology. That's even scarier. Then a pause. What are you really afraid of, Liam? He was quiet for a while. Then, that I'll always feel this way. And no one will notice until it's too late. I leaned forward and hugged him. This time, he hugged back tightly. I notice, I whispered. I always have. Friday morning, 7:03 a.m. I woke up to the smell of toast. Liam was in the kitchen making breakfast. He looked lighter, like he'd unloaded a weight that had been welded to his chest. We ate in the garden. It was cold, but clear. The storm had passed. Before he left that afternoon, he turned to me and said, "Thank you for seeing me, Chloe." And for the first time in years, I believed him when he smiled. Narration ends. We often carry things quietly, waiting for someone to ask the right question. That night, my brother sat beside me and finally let someone hear the answer. Sometimes the real rescue doesn't come from a professional or a miracle. Sometimes it comes from someone who is always there, just waiting for the door to open.